Members of the public continue to show up at Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi's home to pay their last respects. Organisers have urged those arriving to consider attending the daily prayer, which starts at 5 p.m. Moloko Moloto is keeping an eye on the events outside Buthelezi's home. And Moloko, of course, we know that political parties themselves have been arriving. You spoke to John Steenhuisen, the leader of the DA, just a short while ago. What is he saying about his relationship with Prince Buthelezi?
Hello, Masero. Well, the leader of the DA, John Steenhuisen, is basically saying that they had a friendly political relationship with the IFP and the departed leader, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. And speaking of his legacy, really, he is saying that it's easy when someone has departed to be blaming him, pointing the finger of blame. But of course, the fact that he was a leader, depending on where you are seated, if you are on the other side, he will possibly be a hero, but there will be others who would see him as a villain. But Linge is showing you some of the cattle that continue to arrive here, because there are a number of people who continue to arrive here, and the expectation is that they will have to eat Masero ahead of Saturday's official funeral. As we know, the President of the Republic has declared this official funeral category number 1 with the military honors. And these are the supporters and I presume members of the IFP here in KwaZulu-Natal. One of the interesting things that I have noticed, Masero, is that there's one municipality that is located in Escort, the eNCA Langalbalele. They have issued out a notice or a circular or a communique through which the municipal manager is suggesting that the workers on Thursday should come wearing in black in honor of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. And I did phone him to say, are you going to be suspending services? Are you saying on Thursday it would be a different day altogether? And he says, his name is Mr. Stem Tembu. He says, look, it will be business as usual, but we are just thinking that this is the last opportunity for some of us to honor Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. And that is a municipality that is governed by the IFP. But let's engage some of the people here. I'm joined now by Mr. Sanele Zondo, who is the IFP's Youth Brigade National Chairperson. Thank you so much, Tata. The Prince is no more. As young people of the IFP, what are the values that you really think you should cherish?
No, I think firstly, it's the legacy of Mntwana Phindangene. So as the Youth Brigade, we stand by it and promote it and make sure that it lives long. Even the generation to come that never seen, never ever witnessed the presence of Mntwana Phindangene, but they will witness by how we'll conduct ourselves throughout, how we'll perform whenever we're given a chance to occupy spaces of governance and position of structures. No, Mntwana taught us many things which are good, which are one of the legacies that we make sure that it lives long in the generations to come. But as Youth Brigade, we want to emphasize that we see the tendency from the ANC, whenever they get a space, they get a podium, they say that Mntwana did kill people and all those stuff, trying to tarnish the name of Mntwana Phindangene and the legacy of Mntwana Phindangene. But when they come here, they play to be sweet and nice, and we don't like that. And we'll stand and fight that. We'll make sure that the legacy of Mntwana Phindangene live long and it's preached on a good way and it's as truth as it is, you know, because they're trying by all means to deviate and say a lot of things that are not true in the name of Mntwana Phindangene. As the youth of the IFP, will make sure that the name of Mntwana Phindangene live long and the legacy of Mntwana Phindangene will live in the generations to come.
Yeah, very interesting. And somebody would want to know how you are going to ensure that you keep his legacy ongoing, you immortalize him. How are you going to be telling his stories? What are some of the things for those who may not know that perhaps we should know about?
No, the first thing, Mntwana Phindangene was the man of integrity. as the Youth Brigade, we must make sure that whenever presenting the IFP and the people, we do it with integrity. We'll make sure that we don't steal public money, and that is one of the things that we always emphasize and make sure that whenever you have lead under the leadership of Mntwana Phindangene, we must make sure that you don't tarnish the legacy, which the legacy of Mntwana Phindangene is to be true to the cause. You need to fight and true to yourself before you're true to the nation. So we'll make sure that we fight for that, and we keep that to our generation to know when you are under the ban of the IFP, how do you conduct yourself? How do you present yourself in the press?
Sanele, I don't know how old you are, and I'm not too sure where you were in 1994, but the IFP won this province of KwaZulu-Natal, and the first premier post-1994 came from the IFP. You have since lost that particular spot to the ANC. How are you going to regain that particular position of leading the province? I would assume that is what you want.
Yes, you can see. 2019 we didn't do well on the election, but we turned things around. 2021 we've turned things around and become the official opposition in the legislature. So right now our next stop is to regain the province of KwaZulu-Natal and have a premier from the IFP, and that is going to happen next year, because we are going to regain our province, and we are working toward that. You can see in the by-election how do we perform even in the northern side, southern coast, southern side of KwaZulu-Natal. We are making wonderful inroads there. So we are going to regain the province of KwaZulu-Natal, and that is for sure. In terms of how our work rate, in terms of campaigning, we have campaigns, we have programs to make sure that we penetrate the southern side, because we know the IFP is slim on the southern side of the
Yeah, looking around, I see the majority of the people who are here are young people. Yes. A very important constituency that would be deciding on the future of not only this province but of the country. The perception generally across the country is that you seem to be concentrated and focusing more on KwaZulu-Natal. How then are you going to be attracting votes, particularly in faraway provinces, Mpumalanga, say the Eastern Cape and Limpopo province?
No, I think you nailed it on the head. We have programs running as we speak in Eastern Cape. We have programs running as we speak in Mpumalanga. So for sure, we are targeting to have members in legislature. We are targeting to have to win KwaZulu-Natal, have members in Eastern Cape, have members in the legislature of Mpumalanga, and that is going to happen. We're going to up numbers in Gauteng, because now we're represented in the legislature of Gauteng, but we want to up numbers from what we have to gain more votes. So we have programs. As Youth Brigade, we are going all out every weekend to work on the other provinces besides KwaZulu-Natal, because KwaZulu-Natal we have PEC that is working well under the Pemba, and we have PC of Youth Brigade that is have programs in this province. So that is our main target now, to go around other provinces and make sure that we're gaining votes. Even in Free State, we have members in Free State, we have programs in Free State and Northwest, even in Bomb, Eastern Cape and Mpumalanga. For sure we'll get the members in the legislature.
Sanele Zondo, the chairperson of the IFP's National Youth Brigade. I want us to speak to young people. They are scared. Anyone who's willing to speak to us. Sawubona sis. You are a young person, umuntu omusha wena. You're a member of the IFP. How do you react to ukuhamba ka the prince? Okay, all right. Who's willing to speak here? All right. Buti Sawubona, tell us your name and how old you are, but I also want to understand, why do you take interest in the politics of South Africa, particularly of the IFP as a young person? Why is it important to you?
Firstly, my name is Mangosuthu Buthelezi from Dandi, but I'm particularly here in KwaZulu-Natal, KwaMntwana Phindangene. Coming to a question, looking at the politics, particularly in KwaZulu-Natal, as I dwell in KwaZulu-Natal, I believe in terms of Youth Brigade, it have taught us on how one should react in terms of empowering young people as one of the integrity that Mntwana Phindangene has taught us. Today we are here honoring Mntwana Phindangene, and you can see around everybody is cherishing the living spirit that Mntwana Phindangene has taught us, who has taught us integrity as young people and people who are still want to be leaders in the near future.
Yeah. I want to know if the young people who have no interest in politics, how are you going to attract them, particularly to vote for the IFP?
We're going to teach them. We're going to capacitate them in terms of teaching them about politics in E as the whole, firstly, and then try to attract them as giving them the lessons that Umntwana Pindangene has shared with us. Yes.
Right. Thank you so much. Some of the young people, as they are now proceeding towards the marquee where some of the dignitaries are meeting, some of the people that I have seen, Marcelo, are coming from the Mangosuthu Football Club, who have also come here to pay their last respect. And of course, across the political parties, we know that the ANC Deputy President, Paul Mashatile, is one of the people who are expected to come here to also pay their respects. The EFF, a delegation that was led by the Deputy President.
All right, Moloko, so I see that the crowd there that you're with is starting to walk towards a certain point. Is this towards the home? Is this where they expect to be received perhaps by the family, as we say, Kasotho? All right, it looks like we've lost Moloko Moloto. Live for us there outside the home of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi in Pindangene, there in KZN, particularly in Ulundi in northern KZN. Of course, as soon as Moloko has more guests, of course, we have a bigger team there. We also have Sipamandla Goke there, and on some occasions we'll also have Letuwe Mdluli, especially leading up to a memorial service for him, as well as the funeral service that is expected now to take place on Saturday. And for those of you who are probably traveling to northern KZN to pay your last respects, the family has asked you all to consider arriving at the homestead at 5 p.m, which is when they have their daily prayer with all those who want to pay their last respects.